Hi, welcome to our latest edition of Upfront Fridays. With me today is Karen Anderson. Karen is an excellent writer, par excellence, right? And she's also a very good friend. So Karen, thank you so much for coming today.
Oh, this is fun.
So Karen has recently published Gradual Clearing, Weather Reports from the Heart, which is a collection of short essays. Karen, tell us about your book.
Well, these are 120 essays from my Interlochen Public Radio contributions over the last 12 years, plus wonderful illustrations by Joyce Koskin-Maki, who's from the Upper Peninsula and a very skilled pen and ink artist as well as a painter.
Right, so it's a good mesh of mediums. Your essays are very gentle and telling, and the pen and ink is also like a very gentle and gorgeous and fun.
Yeah.
There's one in here that's like 3 ducks in a row, and these ducks are laughing at you. They're just great. So tell us how you came to this short form, because these are very, very short essays.
Well, I had been writing a weekly column in the Record Eagle for many, many years, and Peter Payette, who at the time was the news director for Interlochen Public Radio, called me up and said, I think your columns could be adapted for radio. Would you be interested? I said, sure. But what it meant was that they had to be shortened significantly because the time available is 2 minutes between the news stories. So I had to reduce the format from 700 to 200 words. And not only that, but you need to be very clear. No long, elaborate sentences, no multiple ideas. It has to be straightforward and clear. But you can still, I've discovered, do a great deal in 200 words.
Yes, they're very powerful, really, all of them. There's a fantastic one that you've written about your mother at Christmas time, which I cried. And that's, I think, one of the things I've really enjoyed when I'm reading your book is they're almost like daily devotionals. Like I can really only read 1 or 2 at a time. And it gives me so much to think about that I've got to stop, put it down, walk away for a day, mull it over, get over whatever emotion it was that brought it up. So I think, for people who are especially, experiencing maybe some grief in their life, this is a really solid work.
Thank you.
To talk and think about that. Talk about it with yourself. Talk about it with other people. It'd be fun to do as a book club. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to do that. That'd be fun to meet with people who have read it and get their feedback. Because what I've discovered, the magic of doing this all these years, is that people don't read my essays to find out about me. They read them to find out about themselves. So when they come and talk to me about what I've written, it isn't about the content of the essay, it's about what has been triggered in their own lives. So they bring me their stories. Yeah. I've shared my story, they bring me their stories. And I think that's the sense of connection that's so meaningful.
That's a really good transition. I was hoping that you would read a piece for us today so our audience gets the sense of what you're talking about there. Would you mind doing that for us?
Not at all. I love reading these. That's been another interesting part of being on the radio is using my own voice. And it's like I think I take out words, but I can add in voice because you can do a lot with voice.
Right.
So anyway, this is a favorite essay.
This is absolutely one of my favorites.
Called Rental. When I left my first marriage, I moved into a small rental house with my 10-year-old daughter. The floors creaked and the windows leaked and the oven door wouldn't close. But I loved the place. It felt cozy and funky and just the right size for my downsized life. Then, after I'd lived there about 6 months, my landlord stopped by to tell me he had a buyer for the house. But I like it here, I said, and I'm in the middle of a divorce. Dan and I sat in the grass in the backyard and talked a while, and finally he stood up. I went through a divorce, he said. I won't sell the house. I stayed for 5 years and figured out how to keep the oven door closed with a hanger and a rubber band. Also, how to be a single mom, a single woman. I grappled with guilt and grief and unintended consequences, losing extended family, people taking sides, a roller coaster, a slog. And if something went wrong with the house, I called my landlord. When he had to retrieve my pantyhose from the bathtub drain, Dan laughed and said, "Not hard enough." When the birds in the attic turned out to be a battery in the smoke detector, he said, "Not hard enough." When a stray cat came to our back porch and my daughter wanted to keep it, he changed the rule about no pets. After we moved out, Dan sold the house. I still drive by. There's a stroller out in front these days and a pot of red geraniums.
Oh. But see, that's what I'm talking about. You walk away from it and you go, but there's a lot going on there. You've got this grief, like you said, you've got this guilt, and you feel those emotions. And part of it might be, I mean, immediately as soon as you started talking, you put on your radio voice. So part of it might be you reading it. And I think that's one of the fun things about having known your IPR pieces for so long, is I hear you reading it. When I read these, you are reading them to me. So your voice comes through and you're writing really strongly. Tell me a little bit more about maybe one of your favorite pieces in here, besides Rental, the one you just read. Tell me another one that you really maybe enjoyed or maybe struggled with, one that had a lot of power for you.
I struggle with a lot of them. Writing about my dad, I had a difficult relationship with him. He was sometimes very supportive and sometimes very critical, and I never knew quite which dad was going to be there for me, and so struggling to write honestly about that without any kind of false happy endings. I mean, sometimes there aren't happy endings. There are just ongoing challenges, so I've struggled with that. Yeah. But we all struggle in various ways with family issues.
Yeah, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Am I right? Didn't. So please pick up Gradual Clearing, especially for those folks that want to discover and explore a little bit about themselves. This is a good place to start. It's a very gentle book and just wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on today, Karen. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Learn the trade and make new friends. Up North TV gives you hands-on opportunities in the growing field of new media. Discover your hidden talents in shooting, editing, and graphic design through step-by-step instructions with trained professionals.
Welcome back to Upfront Fridays with our second guest, Nancy Bordine. Nancy, thank you so much for coming. Nancy's from My Summit, which is going to be a climbing center located near Traverse City.
It'll be very near Traverse City. It'll be on M72 as you're heading towards Empire, only 4 miles out of TC.
All right, so tell us all about My Summit. What is it going to look like?
Well, My Summit is for a community of climbers. We've been together since the 90s, early 90s. We've been climbing locally here at the Just for Kids indoor soccer place.
Okay.
When that was sold, we started going up to Northport, we've been doing that for a number of years, and we've really been looking for a place that we can have here, something closer to home. The Northport facility, it's nice to have something, but it's only open one night a week. So we'd like to have something that's more of a home base, that's much easier to access, and that will serve the community. So My Summit is, we have a steering committee of about 13 people. We've been meeting for several months now, designing and developing who we are, what we want to be, and we'll be doing a crowdfunding to help build the building. We do have the land already. It's about 4 miles west of Tom's West Bay on M72.
Okay.
And so we'll be crowdfunding to get the funds to make the first building, phase 1. We expect to do phase 2 kind of organically as the business grows, and then phase 3. It will be a climbing center, but we want it to also be like an alternative community fitness center, a place where people can come and not feel like they're on the fringes, like they actually belong. That's really important to us. We like the lessons that you learn from working on the climbing wall. There's so many things about the effort of climbing that are parallels to lessons in life that you can apply back and forth. The big things that we feel are the benefits of climbing, other than, staying fit and staying in shape, so that when we do have the opportunity to climb to better outdoor climbing, we stay in shape for that. But there's so many opportunities for community members who might not feel so included or really need some opportunities to build self-confidence and trust in themselves and trust in others. So we really hope to incorporate programs for foster kids and foster parents, big brothers and big sisters sort of programs. We'd love to do something with jail inmates, have special time when they can come out to the center and have an opportunity to foster those things that they may be at higher risk for not having part of their growing up.
Sure. So people who don't have opportunity, you're hoping the center is going to build that opportunity for them. That's wonderful. So you've had a lot of community input already on what they want to see. And one of the things you mentioned to me was aerial yoga, which I think is a wild idea. Are there other, maybe describe what aerial yoga is for people that don't know.
Aerial yoga is, it's performed, or it's an exercise program, but it involves yourself entwined in a scarf sort of that hangs from the ceiling. And because we will have high ceilings and we will have all of the structure to be able to support that sort of weight, they approached us and said, hey, we hear you're building something tall and it's a fitness center and would really love to have our fitness program incorporated into that.
What a wild thing to do, like get a group of girlfriends together and go do some aerial yoga.
We're also hoping to have, perhaps in phase 2, a yoga center, also a massage studio, a massage center, daycare, not so much that we would provide the daycare, but a space for moms to be able to drop off kids and know that they're going to be safe while they are getting their exercise in and doing their fitness fix.
Right. So the real impetus here is to build community space.
Very much.
And to do so, you're doing crowdfunding.
Yes.
So tell us how that is going, or how it's going to go.
Well, crowdfunding needs a lot of foundation work done ahead of time, so we've been working on that. We've established a yoga logo. We've established our logo, our name. We are building our landing page. We have a crowdfunding consultant that we work with out of California. So we'll be building our landing page, and you'll see our address going past here on the online version, so that you can go to our landing page. The landing page is a precursor to the launching page. When our crowdfunding is launched, we'll have a 60-day window. The basis of crowdfunding is that someone who is interested in supporting this cause that you're crowdfunding can get really good deals by pre-investing. For example, it will be a very highly discounted annual membership. They'll be able to buy a 1-year membership at a huge discount, and then they will be locked in for a discount for the rest of their life. Not that initial discount, but a discount on annual membership for the rest of their life. The beauty of crowdfunding is that if someone invests, but the whole project doesn't meet its goal, they get their money back.
Okay.
So we have 60 days to know that we're meeting our goal, and then when we meet the goal, we'll have a big celebration. Everybody gets their membership in the mail, and probably a great T-shirt or something with our logo on it. And it also lets us know that, yes, there's interest. We already know that there's a strong group in the area, but is there enough to sustain us?
Sure, right. So do you have a goal, a dollar amount in mind already?
Yes, our crowdfunding goal will be $250,000.
So that's phase 1.
That's
right.
phase 1.
And then you're expecting the business will grow and support the other phases that you're going to bring in. That is so neat. Ugh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. So do you have anyone in particular that you want to talk about that's part of this organization and people's backgrounds?
Sure. I really want to say how much we are grateful, our group, the My Summit group, for TC New Tech. When I did my elevator pitch at TC New Tech, we met afterwards a great architect and a great builder who are all about sustainability and building this building to be green and allow the whole entity of My Summit to operate with the lowest amount of overhead. I have to say their names Nate Greenwald and Jess Glowacki. They are fabulous. We are so happy to have them on board.
Cool. Well, those are two big names. I mean, there's a lot of folks in Traverse City that know those names, so that's fantastic to have them on board. And it brings a whole lot of clout to the project you're doing, so I'm glad that they're involved. Gosh, is there any other follow-up questions or anything I didn't ask you that I should have asked?
I would say a little bit about My Summit. We voted on several different names. We went through a long process with this. But the thing that was universal in our steering committee about My Summit was it indicated Northern Michigan. It indicated personal accomplishment, achieving a goal. And our byline is myself, my challenge, my summit.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for coming today, Nancy, and telling us all about this project. I do hope all of our viewers will be getting involved, financially, obviously supporting it, but we'd love to see you out there when it gets going.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Nancy.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Learn the trade and make new friends. Up North TV gives you hands-on opportunities in the growing field of new media. Discover your hidden talents in shooting, editing, and graphic design through step-by-step instructions with trained professionals.
Thank you for watching. We hope to see you at Horizon Books for next month's show of Upfront Fridays. And remember, you could be Traverse City's most interesting person for 8 minutes. See you next month.
Learn the trade and make new friends. Up North TV gives you hands-on opportunities in the growing field of new media. Discover your hidden talents in shooting, editing, and graphic design through step-by-step instructions with trained professionals.